Hi, my name is Raeanna and I was diagnosed with Hodgkin's lymphoma at the age of 23. Today I'm going to be sharing some of the symptoms that led up to my diagnosis that I completely ignored. Well, the first symptom, I had a lump in my armpit. I've had lumps under my armpit before prior to this, and they would come and they would go. So I thought it was another one of those things. I took this video of the lump because at that point in time I did think it was concerning, but I had so much going on. I was about to graduate from grad school. I was looking for a job after school. And I was just so caught up with what was going on around me that I didn't really take too much heed to this lump in my armpit. I thought it would disappear just like the others. Eventually, it did get bigger and other symptoms started occurring. About 2 to 3 months had gone by without any other symptoms. What I did notice after about 2 months, my chest and shoulder area were becoming a bit swollen, but it wasn't so much in a way that I could look in the mirror and just see that my body was swollen or that my chest area was swollen. It took for me to actually go on a vacation and take pictures in a bikini for me to actually notice that my chest was swollen. So with the swollen chest and the lump under my armpit, which I'm assuming at that time must have been a swollen lymph node, I finally became more concerned. In the time span that it took for me to do some research and maybe scope out a doctor, set up an appointment, I had started losing excessive amounts of weight. I'm talking maybe 7 to 10 pounds in a matter of 2 months. And at the time, again, I didn't think anything of it. I just had someone in my family pass, and so I was highly stressed and associated my weight loss with being stressed or not eating for whatever reason. I was wrong. In addition to the excessive weight loss and what ultimately led up to me scheduling a doctor's appointment, I had this itchy sensation all the time. I was just itchy all over, everywhere, for absolutely no reason. I had this itchy sensation all over my body at random times, random spots, for absolutely no reason. So all these weird things were happening in my body that was completely unexplainable, and I couldn't really pinpoint a reason. After about a month or two of setting up doctor's appointments, getting the testing that I needed to get done, I was ultimately diagnosed with Hodgkin's lymphoma. At the time, I did not have all of the classic symptoms that the doctors expected after so much time having gone by. But after my diagnosis, within a couple months, I did start experiencing some new symptoms, which were classic Hodgkin's lymphoma symptoms. I had continued weight loss, and then I started having night sweats. I would wake up in the middle of the night drenched in puddles of sweat, and I would have to take off all my clothes, change my clothes. There was nights I couldn't even get back in the bed because the sheets were soaked. I would have to change my sheets in 3 o'clock in the morning, sleep on the other side of the bed, lay a towel over the bed, and this would happen almost every single night. I also started having some issues with my heart and with breathing. I would have heart palpitations. I also had shortness of breath. If I bent over or stood up too fast, I would see kind of like the stars that you get like when you're dizzy. Also, when I would lay down a certain way, or if I laid down too flat, I would have trouble kind of catching a full breath. I could not take in a full, good breath of air. Not saying it was impossible, but it was really hard. It wasn't happening naturally. I was out of breath more than usual. Walking up a flight of stairs would tire me out. There was just a complete lack of oxygen happening in my body. And then the symptom that has stuck with me all throughout my entire journey for the good 3 years I've been on my journey is fatigue. I was exhausted doing nothing. I was so tired, so drained, feeling like I had ran a marathon every day. So unlike most people who get their diagnosis and immediately go into chemotherapy, radiation, or surgery, I actually opted to take the holistic natural cancer treatment route and completely changed my lifestyle and my diet. I began getting holistic cancer treatment about 10 months after being diagnosed, and I did that for about a year. So in total, I was on my holistic cancer treatment journey for about 2 years before I did chemotherapy. And as you can imagine, some of my symptoms did continue, some of them did progress. What I will say is that with the alkaline vegan diet and the lifestyle changes that I made the holistic treatments that I was getting. I didn't experience a lot of the things that doctors were expecting me to experience early on. I didn't experience them until way later on down the line. I did continue to experience new, different, or progressed symptoms within that 2-year time span, but all the changes I had made drastically slowed down the progression of my symptoms and of the cancer itself. Pain, body aches, continued weight loss, continued shortness of breath, and so much more that eventually led me to doing chemotherapy. And I'll be happy to get into that in another video. But I just wanted to share some of the symptoms that I experienced prior to being diagnosed and what ultimately led to my diagnosis. If you want to know how I managed my symptoms for 2 years while technically going untreated medically, then definitely subscribe to my channel so that you don't miss that video, and leave a comment in the comment section if you have any questions at all about the symptoms I experienced. Thank you for watching today's video. I highly encourage you to watch some of my other videos, as I am sharing my natural holistic cancer treatment journey here on my channel, and I do ultimately end up doing chemotherapy. I'm wishing good health to everyone tuned in, and I will see you guys in my next video. Bye.